up, you guys? Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're a returning viewer. It's great to have you here with me. Today I have another Halloween haul for you guys, and this time we're talking Goose Creek. So Goose Creek started their Halloween rollout a couple of weeks ago with the launch of their Beetlejuice Collection, a collection I've been seeing a ton of hype and excitement around, and for good reason. The packaging looked really good and the movie is a classic. It definitely stood out to me as one of the most exciting collabs that Goose Creek has done so far. Although I'm personally not the biggest fan of Beetlejuice, I have seen the movie a few times and I do like it. But personally, I'm more of a Nightmare Before Christmas type of guy. But as always, with the Tim Burton style, the weird aesthetics and creepy cool vibes are definitely there, and that's what caught my eye. And then a couple of weeks after the Beetlejuice collection, they launched their traditional Halloween collection to a lot less positive reviews, but we'll get into that later. And then during that whole time, they were launching their fall as well. So I do have a little bit of everything to share with you guys today. So let's go ahead and jump right in because I do have 9 candles to talk about today. So let's get started with the fall collection here, as this is the collection from Goose Creek that I am personally the most unfamiliar with. Generally, outside of their traditional Halloween collection, I don't really purchase from Goose Creek too often, and that's mostly because I feel like they have a ton of options out there, and I never really know what to go with. I did pick out 3 that interested me the most, but there was like a billion of them and they all had very similar scent notes, and I don't know which ones are generally favorable and generally unfavorable. So I just picked out the 3 that sounded the most interesting. And the first one up here we will talk about is Toasty Pumpkin Toddy. So the scent notes on Toasty Pumpkin Toddy are dark rum, spiked pumpkin, molasses, toasted pecans, and cinnamon. Straight off the top of this thing, you are getting that intensely dark rum. It is pretty boozy, and on that first sniff, that's kind of all you smell. But once you go down deeper into the layers, you are getting that warm pumpkin out of it. It's a really nice, like, buttery pumpkin puree. And then you get that deep, syrupy, sweet molasses out of this. It's got that kind of like caramelly, sweet, brown sugar smell, which kind of reminds me of like baking cookies. And you do get a little bit of like a nuttiness out of that from the pecan or pecan. I don't know what the most popular way to say it is. I feel like that's one of those words that I go back and forth on, like caramel and caramel. I just kind of say whatever feels right in the moment. But yeah, you are getting kind of like a cinnamon sugar pecan out of this one. This is definitely a scent that I will be saving for late fall because it has that very heavy warmth to it. Like burning this in the early fall when it's still that like 90-degree weather feels like it would be suffocating because it is very deep and rich. And I'm surprised by how different this take on a pumpkin toddy is from the version that Kringle released this year. I guess this was the year of the pumpkin toddy, but the Kringle version is like more bright and zesty and fresh, while this version is a lot more warm and mulled over. All right, up next here, we have one that I actually have been kind of eyeing for the past couple of years, but I've never really pulled the trigger on it until now, and that is Harvest Hayride. So this one has been on my radar for the past couple of years because it's kind of like a throw every fall fragrance at the wall and see what sticks kind of jumbled mess of fragrances thrown together. And those are notes of apple, cinnamon, pumpkin, harvest spices, mountain hay, cedar, sage, and patchouli. Now that is a ton of scent notes, and scent notes that I'm personally into at that. So getting into the scent here, it definitely smells like a jumbled mess of fall scents. And I'm not exactly sure if any one thing is sticking out at me. Like, describing this scent is so hard because it is so weird. You're definitely getting like a fresh apple out of here. And then the strongest scent after that is that sage, which gives it a nice herbal quality. And that apple and sage quality is kind of giving it almost like a citrusy note. Like it smells like there could be an orange in here for sure. And then I'm almost getting like a sawdust type vibe in here. It's almost dusty in a way. There's maybe just a touch of patchouli in there as well, just for a little bit of earthiness. I'm most certainly not getting a pumpkin out of this one at all. And it's not really heavy on the cinnamon or the harvest spices either to me. What I'm really missing here is that hay note though. That's the one scent note that I was most intrigued about, but it's not really showing up here in any form, at least on cold to me. So yeah, overall on this fragrance, I don't exactly know how to feel about it. I don't hate it or anything. It's not what I expected. It's very, very complex. There's a lot going on in there. This one kind of feels like a fall version of one of their Christmas candles. I don't remember exactly what the name is. I think it was Winter Splendor. I could be completely wrong on that, but I'll put it up here when I find it because I did have that candle last year and it was another one of those like, hey, take a few random Christmas scents and just throw them at the wall, see what sticks. And it had a very similar reaction to that candle. I'm very interested to see how this thing is going to transform while burning and what will really come through. But yeah, definitely a unique one. Let me know if you guys have ever tried this candle out because I feel like this one is a divisive one and people probably have way different interpretations on it. So I'd love to hear what you think if you have tried this one out. So for the final fall candle that I picked up, we have This Is Autumn. So the scent notes on This Is Autumn are apple, leaves, oats, caramel, and spice. I love this fragrance. This is hands down my favorite of the fall candles that I picked up. And spoiler alert, it's probably one of my favorites of all of the new candles that I picked up. You get a really nice, like almost baked apple out of this one. Slight hint of that caramel in there. You get just a touch of like that Bath and Body Works leaves scent. But what really makes this candle to me is that oat note. You get a really authentic, nice, like dusty oats oatmeal scent. It smells like a really nice, comforting caramel apple oatmeal. But if you were eating that caramel apple oatmeal outdoors on a nice cold fall day, because that leaves note kind of gives this one like an outdoor cold feel, and then that apple oatmeal gives it a nice warmth. It's just a very nice blend of the fall vibes. This one to me smells very classic, very nostalgic. This smells like something that I would have come home to from like elementary school on a cold autumn day. You sit down, you make a bowl of apple oatmeal, and you watch like Halloween specials. Very warm and comforting and fun. Absolutely loving this one. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Halloween here, and I'll get my two repurchases out of the way first with Witch's Cauldron and Trick or Treat. So these are two of my favorite Halloween scents of all time. I purchase these every single year. Witch's Cauldron is an extremely dark, musky patchouli with just a little bit of florals and fog and a little bit of anise. Absolutely amazing. If you love dark, damp patchouli and you haven't tried Witch's Cauldron yet, definitely give it a shot. It is not for the faint of heart. Honestly, when I very first purchased this candle, I could not stand it, but over the years, I have just grown to absolutely love this fragrance. And then Trick or Treat is just an amazing Halloween gourmand. It's this fresh apple cider mixed in with pumpkin puree, all over this base of a very, very nice and authentic graham cracker, and just a slight hint of a Hershey's milk chocolate. If you want to go back to the vibe of like a school Halloween party, this fits that perfectly. But before we move on from these, let's go ahead and talk about the packaging here. Goose Creek, what did you do to her? This packaging is rivaling the Bath & Body Works pumpkin carving packaging this year for me personally, for the worst packaging of the year. I get what you were going for with the milk chocolate and the graham crackers and the caramel apple on here, but like we couldn't have come up with something a little bit more interesting or clever. Like, yeah, this is what the scent smells like, but if you handed me this scent without the label saying trick or treat on it, I would have never picked this out to be a Halloween candle. There's literally no Halloween on this at all. Aside, I guess, for like the puke green color that they went with. I don't know, just like a blunder of design on this candle. I have no idea what they were thinking. With these candles, I'm not as mad about it. At least it has like Halloween iconography on there. Like, it's kind of cute, but once again, we couldn't have come up with something a little bit more interesting to look at, something a little bit more clever than like a witch hat wraparound with like a basic blue background. Like, last year's versions of both respective packaging were way cuter, and even the packaging before that is like classic. So yeah, I don't know, just a huge miss for me on the packaging this year, but at least the scents are amazing, so we have that. All right, so the only other Halloween candle that I picked up from the Halloween line this year is one that is brand new to me, and that is Black Cat. And perfect timing, I guess, because Samhain really wanted to hop up on the desk as soon as I picked up this candle. You want to smell Black Cat? You want to smell it? Oh, you don't like that? That's what you're supposed to smell like. I guess he's not a fan. So the scent notes on Black Cat are vanilla musk, marshmallow, campfire woods, and sandalwood. So this one is a little bit of a unique direction of the like Bath & Body Works Marshmallow Fireside kind of avenue of candles. They definitely have a lot of similarities, but this fragrance is very, very heavy on that vanilla musk. And honestly, it reminds me more of that vanilla musk fragrance that Bath & Body Works had as opposed to Marshmallow Fireside. At least I think that's what it was called, vanilla musk. I remember smelling it in the room spray, and that's what this reminded me of immediately. But yeah, you do get that very nice fluffy, marshmallowy vanilla, heavy musk. And then you get a nice smooth sandalwood, maybe just like a hint of like a smoky firewood, but not really. Like, if they didn't put that on the scent notes, I don't know if I would be able to like pick it up out of this candle. But yeah, maybe just a little bit of like smokiness in there, but not like super overbearingly. Like, I would not classify this as a smoky fragrance, but it is very nice. It's almost got like a vanilla body care type scent to it. It's very pleasant, and I feel like this would be really good as like a blender candle. Like, this would go great burning alongside basically anything, just to give it a nice like vanilla base. I feel like it would play well with like a ton of different fragrances. On its own though, I do enjoy it. It is very nice smelling, and as negative as I was for those other candles, I do actually really like this one because the Black Cat on there is so cute. So yeah, if you love a good vanilla marshmallow, vanilla body care type fragrance, vanilla sandalwood even, I think that you would really enjoy this one. All right, and finally, let's talk about the Beetlejuice collection, because I did pick up 3 of those as well. And up first here, let's talk about the Afterlife. And as mentioned earlier, I'm really digging the packaging on the entire Beetlejuice collection. This one probably has my favorite full package, as I really like the reflective nature of these like wonky looking swirls on the back. It's very Tim Burton. It's not my favorite still that they used on the front for these. I don't know if it's like a still that they took directly from a VHS tape or something, but they look kind of like grainy and blurry on there. This one obviously comes from towards the end of the movie where Beetlejuice is getting married to Winona Ryder's character. I don't remember what her name is, but whoever Winona Ryder plays. And it's so funny for this collection. I wonder if they just weren't allowed to use Winona in any of the packaging, because if you can see on this, she's like turned around. You can't even see her face. She's not on any of the other labels. And then there's a candle that's called Strange and Unusual, which is literally her line from the movie. But instead they used Catherine O'Hara's character, who is Winona's mom, who is not strange and unusual like her daughter is in the movie. So it's like just this weird like clash. So I wonder if they just couldn't use her likeness or something, but they were able to use like everyone else's. I don't know, just a weird detail I noticed. But anyways, the scent notes on the Afterlife are bonfire smoke, bone chilling birch, and Palo Santo. And yeah, this one is a really, really intensely smoky fragrance. Straight off the top, you're just getting billows and billows of that smoke. And then you're getting that hit of that almost citrus-like wood from the Palo Santo. And I'm not smelling a lot of that birch wood in here. Thankfully, I'm not really the biggest fan of birch, and it's definitely not the most dominant wood scent in this fragrance. I was expecting not to enjoy this fragrance very much because one of my good friends, Virgil over at South of Sanity, messaged me after he got this scent and he told me that the birch was very strong in it. So maybe that is birch that I'm smelling and I'm actually enjoying it. So maybe I'm kind of turning my tide just a little bit because I did like that Stranger Things candle with the birch note in there as well. And speaking of South of Sanity, they also had a smoked birch fragrance last Christmas with Krampus, which was one of my favorite scents of the year. So maybe I am actually just a fan of birch scents. Either way, I'm really enjoying this thing. If you love a smoky, woody fragrance, if you love Palo Santo, then you're definitely gonna dig the Afterlife. So up next here, let's talk about Here Lies Beetlejuice. Now, this one is definitely my favorite visual on Frontier. I love this image along with this nice light purple mixed with the dark purple swirls. Just absolutely amazing and spooky. So the scent notes on Here Lies Beetlejuice are graveyard soil, tombstone moss, and misty fog. So yeah, this is another one of those really nice like smoke machine fog fragrances. You're getting a lot of that ozone in there, and it mixes in with that tombstone moss to create this almost like wet stone, kind of like petrichor scent, almost like rain on a gravestone that's a little bit overgrown, and there's dewdrops all over the grass next to it. And it's got a nice wet soil scent as well. Very spooky, very eerie, very mysterious. Really, really liking the vibe that this one creates. And it's almost got like this essential oily type quality to it, almost like a eucalyptus-y type scent or like wet pine needles. This one, when I smelled it for the first time, it kind of took me back to like science camp and being in the middle of a forest and it's just rain. There's wet dirt everywhere. The tree bark is drenched in rain along with the stones as well. It's also got like this herbal quality to it, like maybe a vetiver or some type of green herb in there that's also making me think of like middle of the forest. Very, very authentic to me in that way, and I'm really, really enjoying this one on cold. All right, and last up here, we have Waiting Room. And we are back again with the puke green color on here. Although I think it works way better in this context because it's got these like cockroach cutouts on there. Or I guess they're supposed to be beetles. But anyways, the scent notes on Waiting Room are creepy clove, smoked vetiver, and rich tobacco. Yeah, tobacco lovers out there, this is the one for you. There is a really nice, authentic tobacco in there. It's not exactly a smooth tobacco in this fragrance. Honestly, out of all of the tobacco fragrances that I've ever smelled, this one is like the harshest, most in your face, like tobacco. It smells like a really expensive cigar, and pairing that with the smoked vetiver note, it smells like a cigar that's been lit up and you're puffing on it. You are getting a nice herbal note out of this one as well with that vetiver coming through that really accentuates that tobacco note, and you are getting the warmth of that clove as well. And it's funny, they don't have it listed in the scent notes, but I almost get like an alcohol note out of this one as well. Like maybe a cheap whiskey or a cheap bourbon. Like it's almost got like an alcoholic like sourness in there. Very much fitting into the vibe of the Waiting Room. I very much imagine that this is exactly what that room smells like because you almost get like a dusty, crumbly wooden wall scent out of this as well. So yeah, if you want a candle that has that over the top tobacco scent, if you want a candle that smells like a fancy cigar, then the waiting room is for you. So that is all I have for you guys today. Overall, I'm happy with most of the fragrances that I received. I'm really liking all of the Beetlejuice scents, and the packaging is a huge plus on those. Honestly, I'm gonna have a hard time burning them because they're so cool as like little collector's items, but I do like the scents enough to where I do want to burn them. Their traditional Halloween collection this year overall was a miss for me packaging wise, although I do love the scents that I got from them. And the fall offerings I got really surprised me, especially the This Is Autumn. I absolutely love that fragrance on cold and I cannot wait to burn that one. And the Toasty Pumpkin Toddy was really good as well. But let me know what you guys think about any of the candles that I picked up. If you picked up anything from Goose Creek this fall, what your thoughts are on the Beetlejuice collection, the Halloween collection, because I always love hearing what you guys have to say. Remember to leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Halloween content because you know I have more on the way very soon. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Bye.